I am a survivor. I survived a train accident over 6 years ago, during which both my hands were severely damaged. I was left with 3 fingers on the right hand and only 1 on the left hand. And with these 4 remaining fingers, I have managed to make my way through life and to face almost every challenge and every hardship life threw at my face. Today I'm doing what I love. I'm studying English, I'm gaming, and most importantly, I'm playing music. Before all this, before the accident, I was this 15-year-old kid who was very passionate about tennis. I used to play a lot of tennis. And when I say a lot, this is an understatement. I used to spend days long at the tennis club doing practically nothing but smashing balls against walls and people's faces. Mostly people's faces. The walls are safe, don't worry. But I also knew a little music. I used to play some classical tunes that my brother Ahmed used to teach me. So I had some musical background starting from an early age. But when I was hit, I felt that I lost everything, literally. That my life was taken away from me, that it was over. Apparently, I was wrong. It couldn't be further from the truth, actually. I realized today that what happened to me was a milestone in my life, a milestone that marked a new beginning, a different beginning, and definitely a happy one. The first year was very tough on me, as well as the people around me who took care of me, family, friends, medical staff, even people I didn't know who willingly offered their help. I can't mention them all, unfortunately, but if I were to single out one person, that would be, of course, my mom. So, love you. After that, the following years, things started to get a little better. I was becoming more and more independent. I could do things. And interestingly, I got back to music, or music got back into me. I was developing certain interest and maybe passion at that time for jazz music and funk and all that follows. And my brother at that time had switched instruments from piano to saxophone, and that completely fascinated me. I just couldn't get enough of hearing him and seeing him play, either at home or on stage. I followed him everywhere. And he noticed that about me. He noticed that I had this passion growing inside of me. He also noticed that I had a certain frustration that was also growing inside of me due to the fact that I couldn't do what he was doing. I wanted so badly to do it, but I just couldn't. So one day he came up with a brilliant idea. He told me, why don't you try and learn an instrument that you can play? And he gave me a bunch of instruments like the drums, the harmonica, or the vibraphone, instruments that don't require any fingering to play. And when he mentioned the trombone, I had to stop him right there. I had to do it. I said, this is it. This is what I want to learn. So I got hooked. As soon as the news broke, my Aunt Fetten, who lives in France, offered me my very first trombone as a token of encouragement. And from there, I had a passion in mind. I had an objective, a goal to pursue. I cannot tell you how excited I was about the whole thing. I practiced every single day. Morning, noon, midday, midnight, didn't matter. We had a couple noise complaints, but that's another issue. However, I had no idea how tough an instrument the trombone could be. It was extremely difficult to learn. The first steps were the hardest. I was struggling with the embouchure. I couldn't memorize the positions well. I had bruises and cuts on the inside of my lips. It was horrible. So naturally, frustration inside of me grew to be laziness, and laziness grew to become indifference. I put away the trombone for almost 7 months, never touched it again. And during that time, during those 7 months, I had the time to reflect and to think about that decision of quitting, and also the decision of starting a new instrument in the first place. I kept thinking that I wasn't worthy, that I wasn't strong enough to keep going, and I had those black thoughts, those negative thoughts. And at the end of those 7 months, I came up with an interesting conclusion. I realized that for anyone to achieve their goals, dreams, anything, there has to be at least 2 fundamental elements involved. There has to be passion, there has to be determination. Now, you cannot separate these 2 from each other. They are interdependent. You have passion, you need to have determination. It's like a fuel that keeps the engines turning, that keeps them rolling every day. So eventually, at the end of those 7 months, and after realizing that I had actually the strength inside of me to keep going and to pick it up again, and to cross that barrier, that beginner's barrier that prevented me from improving, from getting better, from learning the instrument, which I did. I picked it up, and I swear, in a matter of weeks, I could already play some crazy tunes all over the house. And from that starting point, things didn't stop getting better. I had the opportunity to play in jazz bands and orchestras and big bands. I have met incredibly talented musicians and people in general. I have interacted with them. Do you know how amazing it is to meet wonderful people from Tunisia or all around the world, US, UK, France, Belgium, anything, anywhere, and interact with these people? It's an amazing concept if you think about it. You not only interact with them musically speaking or culturally, you also interact with them humanly. You learn from them, and hopefully they learn from you. So my secret recipe, let's say, for achieving what you want in life, to reach that goal of yours, well, it's not actually secret anymore now, is it? Sorry. It's to have passion and determination both on your side, to mix them together. And once you do that, and I'm sure you will, because at the end everything gets better, no matter how hard things seem in front of you, they will get better. Take my word for it. And I promise you, if you do that, if you mix passion and determination together, you will not only achieve physical and mental stability, but you will also touch and reach for those seemingly impossible dreams of yours. Now, before I finish, I would like to play a tune for you today with a friend of mine. It's one of my favorite jazz standards. It's called Wave, and it was written by none other than the great Antonio Carlos Jobim. Please welcome Emma Benati on stage.